Hello, my name is Scott, and together with co-authors, we have been researching the economics of byproduct beads. Byproduct use is a source of revenue for crop industries, and dairies feed a significant share of byproducts. The resource use of dairy byproduct beads depends on the share of crop industry revenue from byproducts sold to dairies and some supply and demand elasticities. Our research question is, to what extent does dairy demand for byproduct beads affect crop resource use? We show that the supply and demand elasticities are crucial to understanding the extent to which dairy demand for byproduct affects crop resource use. We use data from our co-authors Dion Darza and Tricarico that was published last year in the Journal of Cleaner Production, where they surveyed dairy nutritionists across the US on byproduct bead use, and that data represents about 36% of US milk production. So revenue from byproducts sold to dairies is an important parameter in our simulation models. So this is where we start. Almond industry revenue from hulls sold to dairies is about 3.9%, and 11% of North America canola revenue is from the meal that's sold to US dairies. And 4.4% of cotton industry revenue is from the cotton byproducts that are sold to dairies. So our main finding from our simulation models is that when dairies use fewer almond hulls, growers still produce almonds and find other uses for the hulls. And this same point applies to canola meal and cotton seed. In our economic simulation model, we model a 10% reduction in the quantity of hulls used by dairies, which is equivalent to about 170,000 tonnes of hulls, and it's equivalent to 0.4% of almond industry revenue. When dairies use fewer hulls, the price of hulls decreases and other users buy more. We estimate that almond growers respond to the change in the relative prices by growing 3,000 fewer acres of almonds, equivalent to about a 0.25% reduction in the almond acres. Other almond resources like irrigation water would also decrease by about 0.25%. The dairy demand effects on resource use, which is this 0.25% reduction, is smaller than the revenue from the 170,000 tonnes of hulls, which is 0.39%. Holding milk production constant, dairies would use other feeds. We use one example of a feed that they might use more of, which is corn silage. In the case of almond hulls, we would estimate that Central Valley dairies would use 18,000 additional acres of corn silage to replace the dry matter from the hulls. Corn silage is grown close to the dairies because of high transportation costs. Therefore, dairies' share in the local silage revenue is 100%, and dairies use all the resources used in that local silage production. The implication is that the implication of almond hull use is reduced resource use per pound of milk, and this same point applies to canola and cottonseed also.